So just about. So just about stopped raining. I just got caught up in like a 5-minute pretty gnarly storm there. It only lasted about 5 minutes, but it was raining sideways. The trail was pretty slick right now. I just fell down like 3 times, so it's kind of funny, but kind of hurts too. But yeah, I don't know if it's gonna, I don't know if the storms are gonna keep coming or not. I keep hearing the thunder, and it's pretty, I see why the Smoky Mountains got the name. It's pretty smoky out here. I'm guessing, well, my impression is that there's a lot of rainfall and it just gets pretty foggy here quite often. So I mean, so far my whole experience with the Smokies has been this white, here I'll show you, this white just this white fog over everything through the trees. And I don't know if you can see it over in this valley or not, but yeah, it's kind of even hard to see through the trees at all. It's just a big white smoke screen, so to speak. But yeah, right now the rain stopped. The temperature dropped about 10, I'd say 10 to 15 degrees easily in that time. So I'm hoping that's the end of it, but we'll see what happens here. So if anybody's wondering, yes, that storm came through again. And if anybody's also wondering, yes, I did fall a couple more times, but that's okay. I wasn't the only person that fell down last night. As people were coming into the shelter, everybody was showing us where they fell, you know, all their battle wounds and the streak marks of mud going up each side of them. So I wasn't the only one, which is okay, because initially I thought it was just my footwear, my Crocs, but everybody else was having the same issue. And so yeah, it got pretty nasty yesterday. It's still kind of misty out, but yeah, last night it got pretty gnarly. It was raining really hard. I mean, it was raining buckets down. So luckily I made it to the shelter before the worst of it came, but it got windy, super cold, cold enough to see your breath. So everybody was pretty wet and rainy, or wet and cold last night. But it was nice because when I got to the shelter, the people that were there prior to me, they had started a fire. The Smoky Mountain shelters have fireplaces inside. So there was a fireplace going, and there was a tarp on the outside to keep out all the wind. So that was well welcomed when I got there. So yeah, I got up about 7 this morning, waited till about 9 o'clock to head out since it was still raining. But we're heading towards Clingman's Dome today, which is the highest point of the Appalachian Trail, and it's the highest point in elevation. So it's gonna be kind of a crappy day for it, since it's been raining and I mean, you can't see out into the valleys at all. So it's just gonna be a white sheet. I'm assuming it's just gonna be a white sheet. So I'm gonna check it out regardless, just because it's a you know, a major milestone of the not milestone, but checkpoint of the Appalachian Trail. So that's where we're heading today. Another thing I wanted to say about the shelters is in the Smoky Mountains, it's a requirement to stay at the shelters. You can't just camp anywhere. And you have to have a permit which states that you're supposed to be there. So they're pretty strict around these parts, and I mean, I understand that because there's a lot of bear activity and there's a lot of just animal activity in general here. So that's a big thing to, that out here, just to be mindful that you're not allowed to sleep anywhere. But as far as Smoky Mountains in general, it's been it's a really nice place. I wouldn't say that it's any more beautiful than Georgia or North Carolina so far. This is my third day in the Smokies, so I would say I'm about 30 something miles in, 35 miles or so. But I have seen I've seen the most wildlife or game since I've been here. More game than anywhere else so far on the Appalachian Trail. I first got in, and I'm going to switch sides here. When I first got in, I did see what I thought were bears, because everybody's impression getting in here is bears, 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 watch the bears. So when I first got here, I passed a girl that said she had saw 3 bears, and so I was like, wow, I'm only a couple miles in and there's already bear activity. So when I was walking, what I thought I saw were bears, 2 cubs, but it didn't sound like bears. So I was thinking, okay, maybe I did see some bears. But farther along, I ran into some guys that I've been hiking with, and they were bent over looking up through the trees like they were looking for something. And I came up on them, and we saw a pack of I don't know if you call them a pack, but there was a whole bunch of pigs, like wild boar, up through there. And there was probably like 9 or 10 adult-sized pigs, and about 15 little tiny boars. So it was pretty cool seeing that. Other than the pigs, we've seen, we had like 3 deer come in last night at the shelter, and they seem really tame. They weren't scared or anything. They come right up to us for the most part. I also saw a rabbit. So yeah, I've seen the most game out here than I've seen anywhere else so far on the Appalachian Trail. So I got to take back everything I said before about the Smoky Mountains. The first couple days were pretty rough with all the thunderstorms and the dense fog. You just couldn't see anything. But day 4 came around, the sun was shining. It was a completely different vibe at the Smokies. With Klingman's Dome on day 3 being such a bust, it was kind of started out with a bad impression of the Smokies, but honestly, come day 4 and 5, some of that fog burned off and you were able to see out into the valleys, which made it a completely different experience. And it's something about the Smokies. It's kind of a mystical place, and I say that because there's these dense, like super dense pine forests that are covered in moss, like completely every single inch of the ground, and even runs up the trees, is covered in this really thick green moss. And then you pair, you know, the forest with these with the fog out into the valleys, and every now and then you'll see a mountain peak, you know, come through the fog, and it's just something really mystical, and it's kind of magical. It's something I've never seen before, and I would totally come back to the Smokies and do another hike through. It was beautiful. It really left an impact on me. The best part was coming back out of the Smokies. You know, it's like a 10 to 15 mile decline in elevation. So at the very end, the going northern bound, the Smokies ends at Davenport Gap. And upon coming down, there was 5 or 6 women that had tables set up for trail magic. So that was a great way to leave the Smokies. They had subs and candy, cookies, and soda. They had resupply for like medical stuff, which is great because I ran out of toilet paper about 2 days before, and so I got to resupply my toilet paper, which was, you know, huge out here. So I want to say thank you to the women that did the trail magic at Davenport Gap. Everybody was super happy to see you guys. So that was a great way to leave the Smokies. But yeah, I would totally go back. Actually, can't wait for the next time I go back. I think I definitely want to go back again. So, but yeah, we are currently heading towards Hot Springs, North Carolina. So we will be there tomorrow morning. I will be meeting up with some friends in Asheville. So there's Flamingo.
Yeah. What's up, guys? Been crushing it.
Hell yeah. That's my buddy Flamingo. So yeah, we're heading to Hot Springs. We're gonna have some beers and some burgers. So that's where we're heading. So a lot of people have been wondering what I've been eating out here, so figured this would be a good opportunity to have a little sneak peek, see what I've been eating. Basically, I've been using this jet boiler here, which boils water. So today for lunch, we're going to have 4 cheese mashed potatoes. Basically, you just mix it right in there and stir it, and you're good to go. So I'm going to turn off my my water here, That's just boiling. Basically just pour it right in there. It's quite a bit in there. And you just mix it up. Doesn't look too good now, but I tell you, it's pretty fantastic. There it goes. It gets all mashed potato consistency. So yeah, right there's lunch. So a lot of people have been asking me how I've been staying hydrated out here on the trail, what I've been drinking, and the short answer is just been drinking the water straight from the streams, the rivers, straight from the source. So what I've been doing is taking a 1 liter bottle and filling it up straight from the source. So this is nice and cold water. And then what I do now is I got this filter. See if I can do this one-handed here. I have this filter that I've been using. It just screws right on the top of this, and it filters anything at down to 0.01 microns. So basically there's a cap up here, and just take the cap off and squeeze it, and you can see the little flow meter, and that's pretty much how I've been staying hydrated out here.